are, if any?
Thank you. Firstly, it's been a very devastating last couple of days in Nepal. There are a lot of relief packages, countries like India, China, Germany, everyone's coming in and trying to focus mainly in Kathmandu. Our company, because we're an FMCG company, we are trying to distribute to various hospitals. Our own relief center, we've got 5 relief centers with shelter, food, water, juice, and medical teams on standby. But the difficulty is, most of the areas that's affected is outside of Kathmandu. So the team is yet to go there and start mobilizing and providing food and the basic necessities outside of Kathmandu Valley. So that's the biggest challenge right now. Although other countries have sent helicopters and other rescue flights to even to Everest and other regions for rescuing the people, but most of the areas that's been mostly affected people are yet to go there and start providing the basic necessities. I mean, our company is also into telecom. That's why from our side, I mean, the private sector, the youth in our country are forming small groups and going on their own across Nepal and doing what they can. A lot of international volunteers doing their best to help out in our relief center and elsewhere as well. We even set up remote VSAT centers because we're into telecom for communications all across these areas. But the biggest
let me
bottleneck
ask you
is
about that, because considering that it's in the rural areas that we don't have a complete picture of how bad things are, the glimmers that we've had are not encouraging. One aid agency saying 80% of one village was wiped out. These are areas with homes that are built with very humble things like mud and wood. These cannot withstand earthquakes. What about the electrical and communication networks? Is it functioning yet? Because even before the quake, this was a poor and impoverished nation.
Yes, definitely. Electricity has been a problem in Nepal, but because we were just coming in through monsoon period, we did start getting a little bit of electricity, but some of the transmission lines were definitely affected, and the remote areas where the earthquake devastation hit, these are the areas where electricity was not there in the first place. Even in the transmission lines or the telecom towers, they only have some amount of backup power that is required to fuel the communication, which again, the last 24 hours, everyone working relentlessly, they've managed to get the communication tower up and running. The communication is really getting back to normal. Electricity is coming in various areas. The petrol and diesel scenario all over the city and the country is improving slowly so that people are even able to run in generators. These remote villages.
It's encouraging to hear that things are, at least, the desire to help and the aid, it is all coming in. But this is something I always wonder as we speak.
The communication, which again, the last 24 hours, everyone working relentlessly, they've managed to get the communication tower up and running. The communication is really getting back to normal. Electricity is coming in various areas. The petrol and diesel scenario all over the city and the country is improving slowly so that people are even able to run in generators. These remote villages.
It's encouraging to hear that things are, at least, the desire to help and the aid, it is all coming in. But this is something I always wonder as we speak to those of you who are there and really doing everything you can to help. How are you doing? And how are you holding up at a time when there's so much suffering around you and the next week does not look like an easy one?
I mean, it's not only a week. I think for us, it's the next couple of years where we have to rebuild Nepal. I mean, it's obviously devastating and heartbreaking to see people in our country, just lie down in the middle of the roads in open fields across the country because they're in this massive psychological trauma that's going in through their head. So seeing them, and I mean, there's only an extent where private companies like us or individuals in Nepal can go out and help. But again, the basic problem lies in the people who are really in those remote areas, and that's where the aid and need and people need to go right away. And that's where the major bottleneck has been. I mean, to me personally, my family is safe, but people around me, my office towers all have been crumbled, and we've not lost heart. Our spirit is still up, our attitude of getting back on our ground is still. We are getting tremendous support from our regional countries. We are getting a lot of volunteers who over here coming to us in our relief centers saying, we want to help. We are getting calls from various people from around the world saying we're taking the next flight in. We're getting the water, tents, mats, the basic necessities. We've got just half an hour ago, we got a team in from Japan, medical doctors who are going into relief centers. So everyone's doing their bit, but The idea is to get everyone out of Kathmandu now into those remote areas which will be the challenge. And I think we are making progress. There are governments playing a role. They're trying their best. A lot of international agencies are playing their best. And global news agencies are all here. Things are slowly coming up. Flights are moving out. A lot of evacuation processes are happening right now. But, with that kind of a 7.9 Richter scale, I mean, aftershocks are coming in again and again. So people are don't even have that confidence to go back into any area which is got a shed, So people are wary. They haven't slept.
And it's understandable. I mean, there's so many layers to what people are dealing with, the trauma of what they've experienced, and now the daily experience of getting the basic needs. Nirvana Chaudhary showing us a bit of that Nepalese spirit that people still trying to help and do what they can to bring this country back on its feet. Managing Director of CG Corp Global.